clap for me. First it. Once.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Isaac with Lotus Kendamas with the Lotus team, besides Luke. And today we're going to be unboxing the Element shape.
It's not really a box. We didn't bring a box.
So we worked super hard on the shape. We analyzed every single aspect of how we play kendama. All of us were involved at some point along the process. And we're going to go through each and every detail of what we changed from the sacred shape, why we changed it, how we changed it, and why we feel this is the ideal shape at this stage in kendama. Go through shapes, and then I'll pass it around, and then after we'll kind of make sure I hit every point about how this was made. So our first biggest priority when making a new shape, when making the element shape, was balance overall. And Marcus had a big part to play in this. But Marcus is going to talk more about the balance aspect of the shape.
We wanted to create a Ken that's balanced in the sense that it really suits many different styles of play. I feel like we did a really good job. We have pulled off making a very consistent shape that's good for lunars without having to have the cups all the way down near the ring stall. And at the same time, it slaps the loons, but you don't have a super skinny sword that takes away from what I find comfortable in my hands for juggling, for Ken flipping.
So for me, the biggest thing was that I really like the first Lotus shape, but what it was missing was like bigger cup rims to don't damage the paint a lot, and also for me it's really important to have like really huge stall points, because when you have like huge stall points on Sarado, it's also better for loons, but you can ring it like really good. And this is what was like my important thing I wanted to put into the shape, and I think it goes pretty well. And if you copy it, you will see that rings are so good and loons as well because of these huge stall points, and yeah, it balanced pretty well because of this.
And yeah, this shape is mainly focused on lunars, but the team that made it and this shape was mainly focused on like really good balance in lunars, but they kept in mind that I really like slingers a lot, so it still does that without like compensating for lunars, and just feels good all around.
It's mainly because of sharp radius here. This quadra is pretty sharp, so it holds your finger in the slings, and it works so good, but still really good for loons, which is kinda crazy, and we did it.
Yeah. So because of this, how severe the angle is from how the serrato goes into the stall point, it's going to stall extremely well because the tama is going to ride along that sharp edge, and that's exactly what we found when we've been playing and testing this, not only at EKC this week, but also the last few months. Jack Oates from Occult Kendamas has been hand turning and has helping us along the way with prototyping the element shape, which we all really appreciate Jack.
We love Jack.
Shout out
Yeah.
Jack.
But what Jack did, at least for the first drop that's going to be coming out soon for the hand turn Kens, is made sure that the serrato has a perfect weight for the sword. So they're all going to be a little bit heavy, which is going to give us consistent lunars. At least for the hand turns, for the first few drops, they're going to be all extremely lunar honed because he was able to weigh the serratos and the swords separately. So another thing that Jack was able to do, because he hand turns the Kens, is make sure that the sword and the serrato fit super tight onto each other. When using the factory, that has been an issue, not only for Lotus, but other companies. As you guys know, there's a lot of tutorials and a lot of kendamas that you see at events with super glue, with sticky notes, with beeswax, with anything they can get their hands on to make sure that the serrato fits on the sword. So hand turn Kens by Jack are going to squeeze on super tight. So not only it's not going to be annoying to tighten it up every time you're doing any kind of trick, but also for taps specifically, it's going to tap and ricochet a lot better because of how tightly it's on the sword. So to the factory element shape, we specifically put the serrato a little bit higher on the sword because we wanted to solve the problem of not having to use sticky notes or stickers or super glue or beeswax to make sure the Serato sticks on. So your first, if you get a factory made element Ken, it's going to look a little bit high, but we recommend you sand the sword, and then that way it's going to really stick on tight for where you want it. So taps and general kendama play is going to be much more improved.
Yeah, and I'd much rather have to just like sand it than
Yeah.
always have to deal with like you said, sticky notes, beeswax, and all that other.
You know, it's like always better to have shorter
Tedious
spike,
stuff.
sandpaper it a little bit, then have like a Sardo goes really down,
Yeah.
and then it's kind of playable. You should put paper inside everything. It's so
Yeah.
annoying. So this is why we did it like this, because you can manage it as long spike as you want.
Yeah,
Some players also like having a relatively short spike on their setups, but
Yeah.
we've managed to make a really consistently heavy Serato. So playing your setup with a short spike, you're not gonna have to give up on hitting those lunar tricks.
yeah. Like I got a
Yeah, so
tiny
that's it.
spike right now.
Yeah. Another good dog.
I mean,
Along with the Ken, we did some changes to the Tama. So the Tama is 62 millimeters, and we've also increased the bevel. We did this to line up our stall points on the Ken that we have to really make sure that the stalls are going to be locked. So I noticed initially that wings, it's much easier to do a wing flip and for the Ken to hold the Tama into place on the wing, but also stilts really feel like they are locking. But Rhea, do you want to talk more about that?
yeah. I wasn't really involved in the process of making it because I wasn't really on the team yet. But from playing this one versus the old one, the lunars slap like crazy. I slings well, like Russ was saying, which are tricks I didn't really like to do until now with this shape. So, and slap stalls very, very nicely, especially
Yeah.
from nice string tricks.
I hate stalls, and now I love them.
Yeah.
Down here on the base cup, the transition from the sword down to the cup ring has this very, how can I say it? Smooth transition. It's not gonna be like some other shapes have this really
Rough.
Swoop.
defined kind of cut into the wood.
You can like
From-
hurt your fingers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For me personally, when doing Ken flips and juggles, I love how this feels. It's very comfortable on the thumb, and I really feel like it's good for handle stalls as well.
You are able to flip a lot quicker. It's going to release from your hand quicker. It feels better to catch. It doesn't hurt, like Franta was saying. And once you get used to it, you really feel like it fits in your hand super well.
Yes, and like there is one more really important thing which I found out, and it's like the ring stall, because some shapes are like they got a ring, but it's not really good for ring stall. Like it's not that fit, you know.
Yeah.
But this, you just blend it, and it's fit there like super good, you know. It's like a really nice ring for ring stall. Like I know it's not like a usual trick,
Yeah.
but I like when the shape is able to do every kendama trick, and
Yeah.
you can learn everything on it, and that's it, you know.
Yeah.
You can do rings like pretty good here, and also for me, because I like some yo-yo string tricks like this, it catch the string pretty good. For example, some hanging C-webs, you know, it just fit there.
Yeah.
So this is also important because with this shape you can learn every trick which exists. So it's super cool, I find out.
I think overall, compared to the sacred shape, this is going to be a bit shorter. The stalls are going to be much more chunkier. There's gonna be a sharper spike, and then also lunars are gonna be more consistent.
Maybe I have one more really important point,
Yeah.
and it's the fact that Lotus, Isaac, invests like a lot of money into making this shape happen, because it's so hard to, we get an idea, we come with shape. Now Isaac should send it to me to Czech Republic, send it to Marcus to Denmark, send it to on the wall USA, you know. So it was like super hard to try everything, and we get like 10 shapes I think before. So it was such a hard work to come with this, and thank you Isaac for being open for this, because of this we are able to come with this crazy element shape, and it's really really good in my eyes.
Yeah, I want to make sure to get everyone's opinions on it because we all have a very different style of play. I mean, we all do string flow for the most part, but
Yeah.
that doesn't really affect the shape that much. A big shout out to Jack Oates from Occult for helping us through this.
Dealing
So
with us.
yeah, instead of going through the factory which takes about a month for them to turn around a new shape. When I was in New York, me and Russ lived about a half an hour from Jack and from his workshop. So we were able to head over there
Yeah, it was like every other weekend.
every other weekend. Some weeks we would go there 2 or 3 times, and he was busting out new shapes. We were changing very small details, and then once we had a really new, like, different prototype, a fresh prototype, that's when we sent it to the squad for the most part. So we had a big talk at Battle, I think, the last time. I think that you're going to be able to feel that in the shape, that, like, we went through every single detail to make sure that this shape is extremely playable and fun and is honed for every type of trick.
Yeah, and like the hand turned maple too is, you could tell it's like better quality than.
We're really excited to have hand-turned kendamas from Jack. We'll be having factory-made element kens as well, just like the very first drop of the element shape, which was the PDOX collaboration. Marketing, Leah?
Buy the element shape.
Go Cobb.
So we had a really fun first actual unboxing at EKC. What were your guys' first impressions from that first unboxing?
I laced so many new tricks the day I got it. I
Yeah.
did dub tap, trip tap,
Yep.
10 jug, Cinderella.
Yeah.
Like tricks I thought I would never ever do, and I just hit them all in one day, and it was incredible.
Yeah, but especially the taps, like I could do like 4 or 5, and that's like with trying. But this just felt so good to do it on.
Yeah, I think it was that Serato, how sticky it is and how, like, hardcore it's in there.
Yeah, we opened it at the campsite in Leiden, and like not only us but everyone that tried it like loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was like everything you guys said, but what I want to mention is like I just put in my hand. It was so fun to play.
Yeah.
Like the shape, how it feels in your hand, how it like make connection with your body. It's super cool. So it was super fun, and I was not able to stop playing the day. So this is my point. Like it's so fun to play.
I got into all kinds of new tricks. For example, no hole wings.
Oh, the no.
Yeah,
wings.
that's
Yeah.
true.
They just started. They just like that fat stall point is just working so well for that kind of trick. And yeah, the key word in the process of making this was balance. And I feel like I could switch in between different play styles.
Speaking of balance, what Marcus was saying, one thing that we did specifically that really helped us achieve that goal was making sure that the cups, the small cup and the big cup, were very close in size compared to not only the sacred shape but other shapes. I think they're about like a millimeter apart. So there is a big cup and there is a small cup.
Yeah, and you could tell still, but
Yeah, but I mean, like, a small cup lunar is slapping just as much as a big cup lunar,
Yeah.
you know? We want to kind of keep to tradition and not do the cups the exact same size, because that just kind of feels goofy. But we, going for a balanced Ken, it makes sense to have this thing that's flipping in front of you be really close to the same weight all the way around.
Let's just talk like this.
Each of you take a turn talking regularly.
Hey, I'm Russ.
That's regular.
I'm
Hey, I'm
Marcus.
Ross.